She's completely flirtatious with him.
Blake Lively completely exposes herself.
She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
Ryan Reynolds is crumbling, again. And it's all because Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni just torched his perfect Hollywood lie. Forget the fairy tale. This is a betrayal so raw it's got Tinseltown buzzing in 2025. Buckle up. This scandal's huge, and it's about to blow your mind.
Kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes. But Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career.
He's one of those guys. So they are absolute bullies.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were the couple you couldn't escape. Hollywood's ultimate power duo, dripping with envy-worthy vibes. He was the Deadpool dad, flashing that $1 million smirk, hawking Mint Mobile plans and Aviation Gin, like a charm machine on overdrive. She was the gossip girl glow-up, strutting red carpets with all that class and grace, cooing over their 4 kids like some modern-day queen straight out of a rom-com. Everyone bought it, hook, line, and sinker, until late 2024 smashed that illusion to bits.
And Ryan Reynolds, by all accounts, seems like a great guy. He is acting. By all accounts, he is a total pain in the ass.
Leaks hit like a freight train, lawsuits started flying, and their Disney-perfect image cracked faster than cheap glass in a storm. It all ignited in December when Blake slung harassment claims at her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, painting herself the victim and dragging Ryan into a PR dumpster fire. He stood there, loyal as ever, but the heat was just getting started.
A man being fully castrated by a woman who is using toxic feminism to get what she wants, right?
Then, bam, Candace Owens stormed in with a 2025 bombshell, whispering their perfect family was nothing but a polished lie, a shiny facade hiding some ugly truths. Social media lit up. Ex-posts screamed about fake tears and staged photo ops. Whispers turned to shouts. Was this marriage just a brand deal gone wrong? Ryan's goofy dad shtick started looking forced, and Blake's sweet mom act felt like a script she forgot to rehearse.
She wants us to believe this is actionable harassment, what we just witnessed there. You tell me whether that's what that looks like to you.
The tabloids feasted, lawsuit filings piled up, insiders spilled tea, and their once untouchable glow dimmed hard. By New Year's, the cracks weren't just showing, they were canyons, exposing a mess no PR team could spin. And that's when Blake's ego grabbed the wheel and floored it. Trust me, the real story's about to get wild.
She, time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context, is an absolute nothing burger. She's completely flirtatious with him.
Picture this. Blake Lively chasing a co-star who couldn't care less. And it's messier than a reality TV meltdown. Back in 2023, she was deep in It Ends With Us, a flick about love and grit, alongside Justin Baldoni, director, actor, and self-proclaimed feminist heartthrob.
When Ms. Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you."
But Blake didn't just act. She went full throttle, hijacking the script like a woman possessed. She rewrote steamy scenes, cranking up the heat to get closer to Baldoni, turning a drama set into her personal playground. Her flirty game hit, overdrive when she dropped a bombshell comment on his Instagram workout video. Amazing. Now try it pregnant. Bold? Try shameless. This wasn't subtle. It was a neon sign screaming desperation.
And that's another allegation, Holmes, is that she started to rewrite scenes that nobody had asked her to rewrite.
Crew members buzzed. Ex-posts from set insiders called it cringe overload. But Baldoni, he wasn't playing her game. He shut it down hard, hitting her with a brutal, "I'm not even attracted to you," a verbal slap that cut her Golden Girl pride to ribbons. Insiders spilled more. She wasn't the poised A-lister with a decade-plus marriage to Ryan Reynolds. No, she was a fangirl at Comic-Con, starry-eyed and chasing a man who wouldn't glance her way. Sources say she lingered after takes, tossing, coy smiles and batting lashes, but Baldoni kept it ice cold, barely acknowledging her beyond the call sheet.
Wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal.
I'm just shocked at how many lies were told, okay?
Her ego took a bruising. Imagine the queen of Hollywood charm getting ghosted on her own set. Rejection didn't just sting. It lit a fuse in Blake, and she wasn't about to slink away quietly. Oh no, she was gearing up for a comeback that had flipped this whole story upside down.
And here is part of that leaked audio as of yesterday. Take a listen to Justin Baldoni groveling, is the only way to describe it, to Blake Lively.
Hell hath no fury like a starlet scorned. and Blake Lively proved it with a vengeance that'd make a soap opera blush. December 2024 crashed in like a wrecking ball, and Blake came out swinging, slapping harassment claims on Justin Baldoni, faster than you can say lawsuit. She cried foul, painting him as some sleazy set predator who crossed every line during It Ends With Us. But Baldoni wasn't here to play doormat. He fired back with a countersuit so massive it turned heads. $400 million alleging she'd twisted innocent chit-chat into a full-on smear campaign. The receipts dropped quick, and they didn't lie. Leaks flooded X, texts, call sheets, footage, showing Blake was the one pushing extra takes, tossing flirty jabs like confetti and steering the vibe into steamy territory. Baldoni, he was just trying to clock out, not flirt back. Word around, Hollywood spread like wildfire. Her ego couldn't stomach his no, so she dusted off the oldest trick in the Tinseltown playbook: ruin what you can't claim.
And no amount of I'm sorry's will ever undo it. Hurt people hurt people.
Insiders dished more dirt. Set sources said she'd spin casual hellos into wild accusations, banking on her A-list glow to sell it. Evidence stacked high. Blurry behind-the-scenes clips surfaced, catching her giggling mid-take while Baldoni looked bored out of his mind. Her story didn't just crack, it crumbled into dust, leaving her victim act looking like a bad audition tape. X lit up with fans and haters alike, screaming fraud as legal docs piled up, proving she'd been the hunter, not the hunted. Blake's golden halo slipped, and the whole town smelled blood. And here's where Ryan waded into the chaos, ready to make it even messier.
Where Blake Lively completely exposes herself and just says it out loud with no qualms. This is what I do. The whole thing Justin's put out in his documents, she just admitted.
Ryan Reynolds didn't just stand by his wife, he lit the match and watched it burn. When Blake's harassment claims slammed down in December 2024, Ryan didn't blink. His powerhouse agency, WME, swung into action, axing Justin Baldoni like yesterday's trash before the ink even dried. No questions, no hesitation, just a swift chop to Baldoni's career, sending it spiraling into freefall while Baldoni barely had time to blink as gigs vanished, and his feminist rep took a beating.
This person is not an honest broker. I believe her less than ever. I actually disbelieve her fully now.
Meanwhile, Ryan leaned hard into the loyal husband act, flashing that signature Deadpool smirk on every Zoom call and red carpet, swearing their brand was untouchable. He even snuck a sly dig into Deadpool and Wolverine, tossing in the niece pool. Character, a smarmy woke jab at Baldoni that had fans cackling and X buzzing. But early 2025 flipped the script. Receipts rolled out like a tidal wave, shredding Blake's sob story into confetti and leaving Ryan holding a losing hand. Texts, clips, eyewitnesses, all screaming she'd lied, and Ryan's blind faith looked less noble, more reckless. He didn't just look naive, he looked dirty, complicit in torching a guy's life without a scrap of proof.
And like I told you, that accusation, it can be real. In a lot of circumstances, it goes on a lot in Hollywood.
X exploded. Posts branded him Captain Save a Lie, while insiders whispered he'd pushed WME to ditch Baldoni to protect the Reynolds Lively empire. The gin-slinging, wisecracking dad vibe, toast. Sponsors twitched, fans soured, and that perfect family glow dimmed fast. Ryan had bet the farm on Blake's ego trip, and now he was the guy caught in the blast zone, grinning through the fallout. But the lies didn't stop there. Cue the fake voicemail that'd make this mess glow. Nuclear.
I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect.
A voicemail so fake it screamed desperation. Who's got the guts to pull this off? Summer 2024 dropped a bombshell. An audio clip leaked, catching Justin Baldoni supposedly groveling to Blake, his voice dripping with apologies for whatever she'd pinned on him during It Ends With Us. It was her golden ticket, audio proof to prop up her victim act, waved around like a victory flag as her harassment claims heated up. X went wild. Fans ate it up, hashtagging justice for Blake, while tabloids ran headlines screaming, Baldoni begs. But 2025 flipped that hype on its head when tech wizards cracked the case wide open. They tore into it, chopped up snippets, stitched together gibberish, metadata flashing fraud and neon lights. This wasn't just sloppy. It was a setup so clumsy it'd make a rookie blush.
Guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal. I mean, notoriously, that's the reason why he flew out Liz playing.
Whispers hit the streets fast. Blake's team was the chef, cooking this mess to bury Baldoni deeper, layering lies on lies to keep her story afloat. And Ryan? He stayed mum, his silence roaring louder than a jet engine, dodging questions while the storm brewed. Insiders dished. The audio surfaced right when her claims started wobbling. Convenient, right? By spring 2025, fraud charges loomed over Blake like a dark cloud, her harassed sob story morphing into a legal trap no charm could dodge.
They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle, but guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle.
X flipped again. Posts called her Pinocchio in Prada, and legal experts hinted at jail time if tampering stuck. Her halo wasn't just slipping, it was shattered, and the whole scam reeked of desperation. Baldoni's camp smirked, watching her dig her own grave. And just when you thought this circus couldn't get wilder, Ryan's bromance obsession crashed the party.
I have a lot of questions about Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
Ryan's bromances weren't just quirky. They were a cover, and 2025 blew the lid off wide open. Candace Owens grabbed the mic and lit the fuse, dropping a jaw-dropping claim. Blake and Ryan's marriage was a beard deal, a shiny front to mask his real passions. She wasn't whispering either. Her 2025 expose screamed it, and X lost its mind. Memes flying about Ryan's true love hiding in plain sight. Exhibit A, his gushing over Hugh Jackman, calling their bond a marriage and amends. Journal chat that year, words so cozy they raised eyebrows and dusted off old gay rumors that had trailed him since the Deadpool days.
Kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes. But Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Hefner have a relationship or something.
Then Hugh's 2023 divorce landed like a grenade. No warning, just 27 years of marriage gone. And suddenly he's popping up on the It Ends With Us set in 24, lurking like a shadow with zero reason to be there. Ryan didn't help. He directed a cringe skit for the film, Hugh front and center, mocking Justin Baldoni with a grin that screamed inside joke. Blake piled on the chaos. A resurfaced interview from years back slipped out, her voice cool as ice, hinting their love was a business partnership, not some hard-eyed romance.
Ryan used his nice pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock Justin Baldoni.
That happened to Justin Baldoni, whether or not he wants to admit that or sees that.
X erupted again, but fake marriage trended, while insiders buzzed. Was this all a PR stunt to keep Ryan's image squeaky clean? Owens didn't need to dig deep. Ryan handed her the shovel, flaunting bromances with Jake Gyllenhaal and Jackman, like a neon sign blinking, "Look over here!" He'd gushed about Jake back in 17, and now Hugh was his soulmate. Too much smoke for no fire, right? Their house of cards teetered, fans sniffed lies, tabloids circled, and Hollywood's elite started side-eyeing the whole charade. The cracks were gaping, and Tinseltown was watching.
The guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate. Holy shit. What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable. That I got screamed at. But because this person was number one on a call sheet, there was no safety net for me. So no one had my back.
Sponsors ran like the building was on fire. Offers vanished overnight. Blake and Ryan turned into toxic waste nobody'd touch with a 10-foot pole. By the first quarter of 2025, Mint Mobile yanked Ryan's perfect dad charm off their ads faster than you can say damage control, leaving his gin-pushing grin choking in the dust. Aviation Gin twitched next. Whispers say they slashed his deal by March, spooked by the stench of scandal. Blake's rom-com glow faded to black. Her princess crown got traded for a punchline tiara, with X posts roasting her as Hollywood's fallen angel.
And I remember the next day I walked on and I said, "You get off my set." This is the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared. Yes. And I looked at this person and I said, "You can F off. I'm going to work towards a tennis ball. I never want to see you again."
Because we are learning that Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed. And I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why. Hugh Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the guy they tried to drown in lies, rose like a phoenix from the ashes. Producers and execs swarmed him by spring, tossing offers left and right, drawn to his grit after the truth spilled like blood on the floor. The irony's so thick you could choke on it. Ryan and Blake ducked the Met Gala in May 2025, their first skip in years. A neon sign they can't face the spotlight they used to own. Their cozy elite circle? Shattered. Studio heads ghosted. A-list pals stopped texting, and deal memos dried up like a desert stream. Insiders buzzed. Disney shelved a Blake project, and Ryan's Deadpool hype hit a wall. Nobody wants to bet on a scandal this messy.
The truth should be out there. What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
That's so gross and weird and manipulative, even if it's true. It's so just, this movie somehow was a magnet for awful people. Blake Lively, her brand, Ryan Reynolds' brand, have totally been tarnished by this because the world now sees them for who they are. They cannot act their way out of this.
I let go of so much and I gave it to him.
No one knew who he was beforehand. Everyone knows who he is now. If he is a smart sociopath, he'll work that to his advantage.
X lit up with savage takes. Reynolds sinks, trended, while tabloids ran spreads on their fall from grace. Baldoni smirked from the sidelines, snagging a Netflix gig by June, his comeback a middle finger to the power couple who'd flopped. Ryan's goofy charm and Blake's sweet mom act, dead in the water, replaced by whispers of fraud and flop sweat. Hollywood didn't just turn its back, it bolted, and this crash ends with a twist you won't see coming.
So he was one of the unnamed dragons, if you will, in all of this. And it looks like for that, he is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition.
She alleges that she's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd. She laughs and says, oh, did you get beard on me? She doesn't say, oh my God, you nuzzled me and said that I smell good. This is what she's done throughout.
Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho. She really wanted her vision to be included in this, of Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids. And he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources.
Blake and Ryan thought they were untouchable. Big mistake, because the truth doesn't give a DMN about your A-list shine. Her failed fling with Baldoni, a desperate flop. His bromance cover-up, a neon lie that fooled no one. By mid-2025, their empire of lies imploded. Ashes, lawsuits, and a stench Hollywood can't scrub off. They're not victims. They're architects of their own ruin, exposed as frauds who gambled big and lost bigger. The industry's still buzzing, secrets are spilling, and the next fake idol's about to drop. Chew on this. They're fairy tales rotting in the gutter, but the real expose train's just warming up. Stick around. This drama's far from over, and you won't want to miss the next crash.